it went from a holy moly, he's entering the portal to Ole Miss fans coming out saying, I saw the guy that's ahead of their collective retweet. You don't overpay a running back. Like it seemed that it was about money. Then all of a sudden, when money started getting thrown around and Ole Miss didn't want anything to do about it with it, apparently it was him being a locker room cancer. So what are you taking all of this? What are you buying? What do you think? And let's get to the real part. How big is it that he's in the portal?
Well, first of all, I just think this is a guy who was a part of a team that went and spent a bunch of money on other players and is saying to himself, hey, I'm the most important piece of this offense. The offensive success runs through me when I'm on the field, and he just wants to get his paycheck. It's hard to get a long-term good deal in the NFL. Get your money now. I don't blame him for doing that. The 1.3 million or whatever that's been rumored, I don't think he's realistically going to get. That's an insane number to give to a running back.
Get that. That's quarterback money.
Right. I mean, I don't hate that he's entering the portal. I think that a team, if he's smart about it, if he goes to the right opportunity, could really bolster a team's running game. Like if he ends up
at Ohio
State's a common one that's been brought up. If he ends up with Ohio State, like that's a really nice add to that running back room, and he's going to succeed. He's going to have a really good season. Right. Auburn's the other one that sounds like it's very promising, but
close to his home.
Why? Yeah, he's from the state of Alabama. Why would you leave Ole Miss to go to a team that's still figuring their shit out for your final season? It is what it is. That
if it's for money, then money.
Right. I think, though, if he does pick Auburn, he could have a really good year because he is just like a good fit for that offense that likes to run the football and that could be the focal point again for Auburn.
Let me touch on this locker room thing. How much are you buying on that, Vic, before I get going?
I feel like it's just a lot of rumor mill shit. I feel like every time there's a guy that unexpectedly enters the portal, that gets brought up, and then on top of that, how much is that not by Ole Miss people behind the scenes trying to bring down the asking price to scare away some teams from thinking that he's not he's not a team player?
So that's exactly where I was going. It felt like that they were just trying to get his price down because all of a sudden now he's a locker room cancer and it's all over social media. So you mean for 2 years he wasn't a problem. You let him play in the bowl game and he wasn't a problem. And then, they're using this Jackson Dart video as like he's going over to the sidelines telling, Lane Kiffin to bench him. Jackson, if it wasn't for him, buddy, you've made some really bad decisions this year. Now, Jackson Dart's not been bad, but he's made some really bad decisions too.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Joe, offensively, they started off slow because they couldn't get the running game going. As soon as they played LSU, then all of a sudden they just found a running game. He runs for over 200 yards, and he's a good back. I'm with you. I don't know how much I'm buying this Quinshon Judkins bad locker room. I'm not going to buy that. All right. I know how Ole Miss fans move. Okay. I've been living with them my entire life. I know bullshit when I smell it, and that smells like bullshit. Now, as far as where he's going, okay, I think that he can go to Ohio State. Joe, I don't think that there's really a team that he can't go to, right? Like I don't. Maybe because Georgia just got Etienne. I mean, there's some places, yes. Like there's some places that he cannot go that probably won't take him. You know where I think he could go to Texas. He could go to really anywhere, dude. And there are going to be teams out there that will pay for him, and he's a really good back. Now, I would not overpay for him. I know he's really, 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 really good. I would not overpay for him. I wouldn't even remotely come close to even half of what he's allegedly that he's asking. I wouldn't give him $500,000 for a 1-year rental if it saved my life. Okay, maybe if it saved my life, but it's not going to save my life.
See, I'm kind of split on this because I agree with that. Like, it's not worth the money, but at the same time, I think having a really good running back in college football is very different than in the NFL. And if you've got a guy like Quinshon Judkins who's played at a high level early on in his career, that could be pivotal for an offense. That could be a final piece that if you're trying to get to that next level, paying him is going to get your offense there. I think that this adage of, don't pay running backs is just such an NFL thing, and it's getting recycled now for college football. But yeah, the 1.3 is ridiculous. I'd pay him $500,000. I'd maybe go as high as 700. I'm purely speculating here. I don't really know what exactly is probably an appropriate number to give him, but it doesn't hurt if your team needs juice. If your team needs weapons and your running back room has a limited number of guys, like if you're Auburn or if you're Ohio State and you want to get that final piece and you want to hit the ground running next year, Judkins is the guy to go after.
Yeah, I'm just not overpaying for a 1-year rental when you're not paying other kids. Because, Joe, this could easily – I know Ole Miss fans are going to hate me for this. This could easily be a Texas A&M type of situation where, hey, you're paying all these dudes and you're not paying me, and it fracturing a locker room. Joe, we literally just saw that. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I've already said my piece on Ole Miss. I think they're going to be a damn strong team next year. Come on. I'm not there on that. All I'm saying is you can tell me whatever it is, Joe. I'm just not going to believe it on the young man. So let's see where he goes. I think it'll be a good one. And who knows? It will tell you, if he goes back to Ole Miss, that all that was BS. So we'll wait and see.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.